Hey guys, Xavier here, bringing you a brand new video. Today I'm doing a deck profile for, as you can see, Ritual Beasts. Uh, I just just about finished building this deck. I'm missing a few cards from it, but I don't know when I'm going to get those yet. But I've been playing this deck mostly on DevPro and Dueling Network with quite a bit of success. And this is actually also a pretty tricky deck to learn. There's some you got to memorize the combos for the deck. But once you get that down pat, you'll get used to the deck, and it works out really well. This deck's actually to me a lot of fun. And it takes down a lot of the tier 1 decks, but sometimes you don't get the cards that you need on your first turn, but it doesn't take too long after that to get what you need normally. So without further ado, I will start this deck profile off. Starting with 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. This is your main combo maker. So you need 3 of these because you got to try to get this guy in your hand, because when he's normal summoned, you can normal summon another Ritual Beast. 2 Ritual Beast Tamer Wen. When she's normal summoned, you can special summon from the banish pile, and that's also good for your combos. And then 2 Ritual Beast Tamer Lara, who does the same thing as Wen, except she gets the monster from the graveyard. And trust me, you'll be using your graveyard and your banish pile a lot with this deck. But you definitely should run at least one of each. But because to do all your combos, you need to try to get all your Ritual Beast Tamers banished, and at least 3 of your Spiritual Beasts also banished, and get your combos off of that. So that's it for the Tamers. There's only 3 Tamers in the TCG right now. I think there's going to be a couple more coming in the next set, but they are also pendulums. So we'll see what happens when they come out. For the Spiritual Beasts, we have 3 Kanahawk. This is the main card that you also want to get with Ritual Beast Tamer Elder, because you can pull your combo off with this. This is basically a gold sarcophagus in monster form, so you definitely need to run 3. But if you can't get your Kanahawk, there's 3 Repengu. This is, in my opinion, it's nowhere nearly as good as Kanahawk, but it's still a really good card, and you can still get your combos off with it pretty well. With this one, you basically banish one of your fusion Ritual Beasts and get its regular monster counterpart from your deck and put it to the graveyard. And there's a lot of combos you can do with that, but I personally feel the Kanahawk is the better card. But I run 3 of each of them because you really want to get one of those 2 cards with the Elder. 2 Spiritual Beast Apelio. This is basically the highest attacker of the regular monsters without the fusions, and you basically, with his effect, banish a Ritual Beast from your graveyard, and all your monsters gain 500 attack. And the 500 attack is a plus, but his combo is mainly to get your Ritual Beasts from your graveyard back into the banish zone. That's why Apelio is important, but he's really good at 2. 3 is kind of an overkill. I have tried it with 3, and I drew into him more than I should have. And then 1 Spiritual Beast Petalfin, and this card's really good too. And most people run 1, and that's fair, because I actually don't really go into his effect too often. But when I do, it definitely is very helpful. And he's just another Ritual Beast you can get to your graveyard to help with your combos. And he's the guy who mostly I send to the graveyard with the Repengu. because to me he's one of the least useful. And his same with his fusion is also the least useful of the three that we currently have. I'll get to that in a little bit. Onto my spell cards. I only run one Ritual Beast Bond. Most people also run one, which is again fair, because this card's mostly for going into your OTKs, or sometimes it's good if you want to go back and refuse on your opponent's turn for one reason or another. But one is fair. I've actually tried it at 2 because I originally thought this was a really good card, and it is a really good card. But at 2, again, I drew into it too much, and it kind of just sat in my hand. So I don't really draw into it too much anymore. And if I do need it, I can always use Ulti Kanahawk to get it to my hand if need be. So there's one bond. The next card, I don't have these yet. So I just have blanks for them right now. This would be the Emergency Teleport. That's probably the most expensive card you need to get for the deck, but you don't need it to play it. It's just highly helpful. I do have one on the way, but I still need to get my hands on 2 more. And I was waiting to get my one Emergency Teleport, but it still hadn't come. So I just decided, since I'm not going to have all 3 by the time I'm making this video yet, I would just have blank sleeves to show. But it's definitely a really good card to have to try to get a tamer on your first turn, because it's going to be really needed. Next card is 3 Upstart Goblin. I'm normally not a fan of Upstart Goblin, but after testing it out with this deck, it really does help, because you really got to try to push to try to get specifically Elder, or if you can get a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast on your first turn in one way or another. That's what you want to try to do on your first turn if possible, but you can't always do it on your first turn. Normally you can get it by your second or third if you can't get it on your first, but 9 times out of 10 you can normally do your first turn and do your combo. Next up, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. I thought about putting a third one back in. I originally had 3 in my build, but I put it down to 2 after the ban list, because a lot of the floodgates are limited, and I really wanted to make room for some other stuff, but I still might change that. I still might put it to 3, but for now I do think it's good at 2. Whoops, flipping the cards here. 1 Dimensional Fissure. This is an amazing card because you need to try to get your cards banished more often than not, and it just helps your deck, and it really hurts a lot of your opponent's decks, because most decks are not pro banishing for themselves, unlike this deck where basically being banished is what you're trying to get. So it works both ways in that sense. 1 Raigeki because it's Raigeki. 1 Gold Sarcophagus because, again, that's basically like having your 4th Kanahawk in the deck. And it's super helpful. Normally, just like Kanahawk, you're not going to get the card to your hand. You're normally just going to special summon it, and you get your combos off of it with this deck. Again, I have a Foolish Burial. This is a card I've considered taking out because you want to get it to the banish pile, even though sometimes it's good to put in the graveyard. But sometimes I don't even want to use this card when I get it, because sometimes I can just dead draw and it's not going to help with the combos or anything. And it's up in the air. If I did take it out, I might put in the 3rd MST. But every time I think about taking this card out, it helps me, so I wind up keeping it. So, one Foolish Burial. And the last spell is Book of Moon, because Book of Moon is a good card. Okay, now we're on to the traps. I believe there are 10 traps total. First 3 traps, Ritual Beast Steeds. This is the best trap of the deck. This is your greatest protection also, because the fusion monster's defusion effect is a quick effect. Then you can also use this card and then counter it with your fusion. And instead of killing one monster, you'll kill 2. And it's even better comboed with Ritual Beast Ambush. Basically, special summon from your banish pile or your graveyard 1 Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast. And with this combo, you can kill up to 4 monsters at a time. And also, it can get you out of sticky situations. And I considered running 2, but this card's just too good. It's a very good card, so I keep it at 3. The rest of the cards are practically staple. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Macrocosmos. Macrocosmos, again, I have in here for the same reason as Dimensional Fissure, but this is almost better because I believe it is Alti Conhawk's effect. You can take 2 from your banish pile, 2 Ritual Beast cards from your banish pile and put it to the graveyard, but it says cards, so you can even use your spell and trap Ritual Beast cards for its effect, if need be. And that's why I think Macro is the better card for this deck, believe it or not. Now, I don't have anything that's similar to Tempest. I know, I believe there's Sylphid, and I can't think of the other one. It's a bird. And or even Harpy's the Harpy Dancer. I don't run any of those, even though I've tested them, but I don't feel like they help too much. I mean, I can see what people are trying to do with them, but whenever I get the cards, it just doesn't feel like I'm going to be doing much with it. Even though if I'm going to be possibly trying to exceed and I'm getting another card banished, it's not like Tempest where you can just throw down Tempest and use it as a beat stick and then keep using it over and over again. You can't even normal summon those cards, I believe. Well, the Harpy's Dancer you can. Harpy's Dancer is a different effect altogether. And I just feel like at the moment I don't feel like using any of those cards because they didn't help as much as I felt it would, and there were other cards I really would rather run over them. So that's why you didn't see anything there. Now, if there was a Tempest Dragon Ruler still, you'd probably see that in here, but we don't have that anymore. Now for the extra deck, we have the main cards. Alti Conhawk. This is your combo maker, and it's also your most important card because it's your best searcher. You can basically take 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards and put them to the graveyard to search out for any Ritual Beast card from your deck and add it to your hand, which is a great card. Normally you go for the traps, but you can go for anything you want pretty much in the deck. And then you can also use its defusion effect, and as long as one of your targets for its original effect is sent to the graveyard, you can take the other card and special summon that with another Ritual Beast or Spiritual Beast, and you can just do it again. And it's an awesome combo, and it's the best card of the deck in my opinion. It's what makes the deck good, so good. Then I run 3 Alti Apelio because it's the main attacker of the deck, and when he attacks, he's unaffected by cards. And it's a great card because then you can push for game with this card, and you can run over a lot of cards, a lot of monsters with it too, because it's 2600 attack, which isn't too bad. So it's definitely a good card. And I also run 3. I considered running 2, but I definitely want to keep 3 because of Rapengu's effect if I want to get a Pelio. And then 2 Ulti Petalfin. Petalfin is basically, it can't be destroyed by card effects, I believe. And its defense is 2800, and it's a great card to put in defense if you need to defend for a little bit. But I run 2 instead of 1 because I tend to throw this card in the banish pile a lot with the Rapengu and its regular form, the Petalfin. I tend to use it the most with this card. So I have 2 of those, and that's it for the fusions. We don't have the next fusion yet, the Heraclinos of the deck, better Heraclinos. We don't have that over here yet. When that comes out, you'll definitely be seeing that in the extra deck. But for now, that's what I have for fusions. I have 1 rank 2 Daigusto Phoenix, and then 1 rank 3 Levier the Sea Dragon. These cards might come out because I never go into them ever. I've never once since I've been using this deck have I gone into either of these cards. So they might just be coming out, and I might just make it strictly rank 4s in the extra deck, because I go into the rank 4s a lot more often than these, because there's a lot more level 4s in the deck, and I just tend to go into the 4s a lot more. And if I did take these out, I might just wait for the new fusion to come out, and I might just take those 2 out for it. For the rank 4s, I got 1 Lightning Chidori. It's a great card. I definitely suggest running it if you can. Number 101 Silent Honor Arc. One of the most underrated cards anymore because everyone goes for Castel over it. But this is a great card, and it gets me out of more. To me, this card gets me out of more situations than Castel does. But I do still run 1 Castel because it is a good card. 1 Evil Swarm Extinction Knight. And then 1 Gaga Cowboy. Alright guys, I know this video is a little on the long side, but I thank you for watching. I definitely am taking tips for this deck if you have any suggestions, because I'm still fairly new at this deck, but I've got a good grasp on how the deck works. And I've had a lot of play testing, and this build seems to be working really well right now. But I'm definitely open to suggestions, and I hope some of the ideas that I had for my deck might help yours. But this is a fairly standard Ritual Beast deck, and it really works. And again guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like my videos. If not, that's okay. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.